Test, test. Can you hear me now? Test, test. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh my goodness. What is going on? My computer is making changes independently. Can you hear me now? Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you. Did you get to hear the fun music when the squirrel was dancing? Oh. Technical trouble. The gremlins. There was sound with the squirrel, but not me. Even with my intro, did you hear my intro? My whole intro wasn't even working when I was welcoming everybody. Oh boy. You heard the music? Did you hear me say welcome? And about the nitty-gritty format? Okay, let's see here. Let me just back it up. Okay, all right. So that's all right. I think we're just going to move forward. I want to honor our time because I'm hoping that we can get to a lot of gameplay with commentary, because we're going to be talking about planning discards and how to simplify the decision-making process. So what I guess I had shared very briefly is that this is a nitty-gritty format. So we keep the socialization to a bare minimum in the chat. And that's what the moderators are here to do, to help moderate that. So I just wanted to say thank you very much for that. All right. And also, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for joining as a channel member. I really appreciate the support. So in a nutshell, that's what I was sharing when you couldn't hear me. So let's move forward. All right. I'm going to share my screen and we'll do this quick presentation, super quick. Let me get it to a slideshow. Hold on one second. Okay. There we go. Okay, now. Okay, let's see here. All right, we're going to share. All right. I think we're good. Can you see my presentation? And can you hear me? Are we good to go? I don't want to go forward. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. You can. Okay, excellent. All right. So here we go then. All right, planning discards. That's what we're going to be talking about. Planning discards. And so we're going to start with just a caveat. The first thing that you want to do when you get your dealt hand is find your focus. And that means you arrange your tiles however you like. I personally like to arrange them in this order: jokers, flowers, winds, dragons, and then the numbered tiles in numerical order by suit. I have seen that some people put all their 2s together, all their 3, 4, 5 together. That is not ideal though, because the only thing that you're going to see is consecutive run. So I highly recommend the pattern that I just mentioned, or the order that I mentioned, because that's going to give you the initial lay of the land. You'll be able to see the numerical order, but you'll also see the suits, because American Mah Jongg, as you know, is a game that has blocks of numbers and also suits. And actually there are more mixed suit hands than one suit hands. So if you put your suits in numerical order by suit first, you can get the initial lay of the land, and then target multiples. You want to focus on strength. The strength is going to be multiples, but sometimes you don't have them. When that happens, you focus on the predominant pattern. And then during the Charleston, as you gather tiles, you're going to hopefully develop a multiple, and then you target the multiple, reassess, gather tiles to support it, and play a category that uses most of your tiles. That is the ideal way to play American Mah Jongg because of the nuances of the game. In a nutshell, American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples, and that's why it's the best way to begin your decision making with those multiples in mind, because eventually you're going to need them. Why not start there? So focus on the strength of the hand. If you have multiples, target the multiple, otherwise target the predominant pattern until a multiple forms, and then continue that process. Once you identify the strength of the hand and you decide on one or two categories to play, then you're going to see tiles that don't work for what you're focusing on, unwanted tiles. And typically you're going to put them to one side of your rack, whether it be on the left or right, so that you can gather tiles, your keepers. Most people separate unwanted tiles. Now, that doesn't mean that you want to create a space between your tiles. You should keep them all together. Just make sure that you put your unwanted tiles on either side of your rack so that you know what to pass. And then during the pick and discard phase of the game, what to discard. And you're not going to accidentally discard a keeper. Any questions before we move on to the next slide? Because then we're going to talk about those unwanted tiles. Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about the unwanted tiles now. Once you've identified the category or categories that you're going to play, put the unwanted tiles to one side. Then you're going to target the tiles for discarding, or for, if you're in the Charleston, passing. And what I typically do is, for passing, I try actually not to pass two wins together. I try not to pass 2 year tiles together. I try to minimize or mitigate the risk in every pass by maybe passing one tile of each suit, maybe a little number with a big number, and even with an odd, and that kind of thing. So think about that when you're doing your passing, because you don't want to give your opponents powerful tiles that could help them develop their hand. You want to try to mitigate the risk. And just as a disclaimer, every single pass is going to have some risk, just because every tile is used all over the card. So you never know what your opponent is going to be gathering, especially in the first Charleston. So just try to mitigate the risk with whatever your unwanted tiles are. Then when it comes to the pick and discard phase of the game, if you're not playing wins, discard those first, because they're not going to be useful to you, of course, if you're not playing them. So let's say that you're focused on odds, and likely you're not going to be keeping wins. If you are keeping wins, then you're probably going to be playing something consecutive, because the number tiles in the win and dragon category, second hand down, and then the concealed hand, maybe the fourth hand down with the year tiles, you're going to be keeping consecutive tiles. So if you're playing odds, it's going to be likely that you're not keeping wins. So in the pick and discard phase of the game, discard those first if you're not going to use them. And then after that, discard year tiles. And the reason why I recommend discarding year tiles, and this of course is if you're not using them. So for example, if you're playing consecutive run with little numbers, you're going to keep those year tiles, because 2, 3, little consecutive numbers, 2, 3, you want to keep them. But if you're playing with big numbers like 5 through 9, then you're not going to need the year tiles, the 2 and the 3. So those come after wins. So discard, excuse me, and discard wins first, then just discard, sorry, hold on. Then discard the year tiles. After that, you're going to discard the clear chaff, tiles that you know you don't need. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to give a good cough there. Okay, now back to the presentation. So chaff would be clear discards. So for example, let's say that you are playing odds. clearly you're not going to need evens. So if you're playing odds, 1, 3, 5, you know you don't need 6s and 8s, big even numbers. Those can clearly go. So there are some very clear discards that you can let go of. So wins first, then your tiles, and then the chaff. And then once you get to the place where you have mostly keepers in your hand, and you're having to start whittling out some of those keepers and really kind of finalizing your hand, knowing which hand you're playing, look for isolated tiles. And hopefully we'll have examples of that when we do gameplay with commentary. So anytime I mention isolated tiles, those would be amongst your keepers that are not connected in a way that is useful. So think about that. So the priority, again, if you're not using some of these tiles, you got to keep that in mind because it's very situational. Typically wins go first, then your tiles, and then chaff, and then isolated tiles. So this is the priority that I recommend in my current studies to date on planning discards. So let's look at some examples. So here's a hand. And by the way, these examples are actual dealt hands that I've been given when playing online. So I've been capturing, I've been doing screenshots, and I'm using these real live hands that have been dealt that create good examples, kind of a object lesson, but also some challenge. So here we have East and South, Green Dragon, pair 3, 7 in BAMs, 6, 9, then 2, 3, 6, 9, pair 2 in dots. So what you do is you first target multiples. That's the first step. Target multiples, because American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples. And this is where that simplification comes in, because when you first get the dealt hand, just target multiples. Step 1. It makes it super easy, because here we see that we have consecutive pairs, 2, 3. But there's another thing that you want to consider. What do you have most of? And that's where you can see we have a lot of 3, 6, 9. With 2, 3, we have 5 tiles, but with 3, 6, 9, we have, let's see, 7 tiles. So there's a few more tiles to work with. So you want to try to maximize supporting tiles. So if this were my hand, I would probably play 3, 6, 9. So let's say that we choose to play the 3, 6, 9 category. That means that we're going to hold on to every tile in that category that can be used, 3, 6, and 9. Because our multiple is with the 3 and it's a BAM, and the green dragon corresponds, this year the dragons in 3, 6, 9 are opposite. So that green dragon is chaff. We're not going to be able to use it unless we let go of our 3 dot pair, which we're probably, or 3 BAM pair, which we're not going to do. We're going to leverage the 3 BAM. So here we have most of our tiles supporting the multiple, the 3 BAM. We're left with the chaff. However, there's joker bait. Now, I don't know if you know about joker bait. That is a pair that you're not going to use, that you might hold until later in the game. You discard one that coaxes an exposure from an opponent with a joker, and then on your next turn you use the second tile to do a joker exchange. That is joker bait, and I've got lots of videos that demonstrate joker bait. I'll be happy to put a link in the video description so that you can study that on your own, or attend another Nitty-Gritty Let's Play live stream where we talk about playing with jokers. That's one whole episode. So you can expect joker bait to be part of that. So now we're going to focus on the remaining chaff, which is a 7 BAM, green dragon, and then the east and the west. That's our chaff. So we have 3 discards that we can pass that are pretty safe. We have a 7 bam, green dragon, and a south. It's a little bit risky because the 7 bam and the green dragon correspond, but when you're deciding on what to pass, do the best you can with what you have. Just mitigate the risk as best you can with the tiles that remain, because your first priority is building your own hand. We need to keep all the 3, 6, 9 tiles because that is going to support our multiple, and we need as many tiles as possible to give us options in that category. Joker bait we want to keep because we might be able to get a joker later. If you feel that this is too risky, break up the 2 dot and pass maybe the 7 bam 2 dot with a wind. That would be a better pass, but it would also take away your joker bait for later. So it really depends on where you are during the Charleston if you're passing. Now, if you're in the pick and discard phase of the game and you're looking at the same tiles, I would start by discarding the south. The south would be the discard, then the east, then the dragon, then the 7, and then hopefully we'll get to a place where we're gathering keepers and we'll be maybe in the middle of the middle game by that point, or maybe the early part of the middle game, we let a 2 dot go and maybe get a joker exchange out of it. So that's an example of identifying chaff. After you identify the strength of your hand, you identify the chaff, and then you mitigate the risk with your remaining tiles. All right, so we are going to play at I Love Mahj and do gameplay with commentary on, so we'll have lots of object lessons, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about isolated tiles as an example. So I'm going to stop the presentation and we're going to jump over to I Love Mahj. Is everybody with me? Any comments about discard strategy? We're going to go full screen. Let's see this one here. Okay. All right. So here's I Love Mahj. This is a great platform if you're a beginner or any intermediate player, because they have a exercise room that's fantastic. And if you're a experienced player, it's a great place to play as well. I just really love their exercise room. And incidentally, I am a affiliate partner, so I do promote this platform because I think it's a great place to practice. So if you are new to the game and you've not played here yet, you can get a 3-week trial. And if you use MAHJLIFE as the promo code. All right, so we're going to do a couple of let's see here. The first thing we're going to do is maybe we'll do Charleston practice just to kind of expedite, so we can get examples of what to pass, because your passes are discards technically. So let's do some Charleston practice, and then we'll do Charleston practice 3 times. Let's see here. I need to stop sharing, and then I'll represent the game. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to start the exercise. Okay, so they do have a feature up here. I just want to quickly mention it. If you are stuck, click Reveal Suggested Hands, and it will give you some hints. But I recommend that you use that on a limited basis, because you want to work your own brain and try to figure it out on your own. That's where the best learning comes in. But if you get to a place where you're totally stuck, go ahead and click the Reveal Suggested Hands. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is sort by suit. And you can see here we have a lot of BAMs. So we're going to first identify the multiples, and we have 2, 6, 7. So whatever we play, it's going to be consecutive. That's one way to simplify the decision making. because you target multiples. In this case, they're consecutive. So whatever we play is going to use a 6 and a 7. 6, 7, and 1 suit. So we have 6, 7. We have a flower, west, red. Then we have 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, and bams, 4 crack, and a 9 dot. So with 6 and 7, we could clearly do 5 through 9 in 1 suit. That would be the first hand under consecutive run. There are no gaps. We have every number represented. So that would be a strong, that would have strong potential. Our 5 bam and the 9 bam need to be pairs. So those would be weaknesses. So I wouldn't commit to that hand. I would gather for it and just see what happens. So if we gather 5 through 9, I would probably, let's see, we have a 6, 7 paired up, 6, 7. We might be able to do 4, 5, 6, 7 if a 5 crack comes in. So I would hold the 4. If we get an 8 dot, we can maybe do 6, 7, 8, 9 in dots. And that leaves us with 5 discards. I would not pass a flower. That's very risky. So for discards, we're now down to west, red, 2, and 3. That would be the chaff. We clearly don't need those because we're not going to go from 3, bam, up to 6, 7 on this year's card. That's not going to work. So I would break up the 2, 3 and probably pass 2, red, west. That is a great pass. A wind, a dragon, and a number tile. That has the lowest risk there is. That's the ideal pass. And there are several others, hopefully, that we can talk about. So we're going to go ahead and pass unless anybody has any questions. We're gathering 4 through 8, or let's see, 5, 6, 4 through 7, or 5 through 8, 5 through 9. We might be able to do. So let's just see what we can do. We really don't have to pick a hand. You don't even have to look at the card until you run out of discards. We have enough discards to just gather. We targeted the multiples. Now we're gathering to support the multiples, and we're passing as safely as possible. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we have a 6 and a 7. Those are in our range of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 through 9, really. So here we have mostly the bigger numbers. So I would give up on the 4. 2, 3, 4. Now this is going to be a pretty risky pass. This is where you'll look at your keepers. So right now, all the keepers are to the left of the flower. Our target is 6, 7, and bams because those are the multiples. So you look at the rest of your tiles to see maybe if we can mitigate the risk in this pass, because 2, 3, 4, that's really risky. I would probably let something go. This is where you look for isolated tiles. Our isolated tiles are the 6 dot and the 9 dot. Because, well, really the 9 dot mostly, because from the 6, 7, which are paired up, we can't get all the way to the 9 unless we have an 8. So that's 9 dot is isolated. Same thing with the 7 crack. We won't be able to use the 7 crack with a 6, 7 and bams unless we get a 6 crack. That would be the third hand from the bottom under consecutive run. So the 7 crack and even the 6 dot is isolated. So we have 3 isolated tiles in our keepers: 7 crack, 6 dot, 9 dot. One of those can go, which will mitigate the risk in our pass. So I'd probably let either the 9 dot or the 7 crack go. Probably the 9 dot. And I would likely pass 2, 4, 9. So we've got 2 evens and an odd in there. It's a little bit risky, but the 2, 4 would be in 2 suits. So that's mitigating some risk. All right, so 2, 4, 9, we're going to pass. We have a 7 dot. So now we have, oh, here's a 5 dot too. So here we have 5, 6, 7 in dots, 7 crack, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in bams. Those are all keepers for now because we're gathering for the category of consecutive run. And our target again is the 6, 7, and BAMs. So we're going to gather at least 4 numbers, if not 5, around our multiples. Here we have 5 through 9 for the first hand. We could also maybe do 6, 7, 6, 7, third hand from the bottom. 6, 7, and BAMs, 6, 7, and dots. We have 2 tiles to pass, the 3 and the north. So we have to let something go. The 5 dot could go, or maybe the 7 crack. I would say the 7 crack because it's isolated. There's nothing we can do with that 7 crack with a 6, 7, and BAMs. We could maybe do, let's see, the 5 dot really we could probably do, but there is some connection to 5, 6, 7 in dots. I would probably let the 7 crack go. The 3, 7 in cracks as a pass is not too bad. Okay, now we have a 6 dot. We formed a new multiple. If you form a new multiple, reassess. We have 6, 7, and BAMs paired up, and now we have a 6 dot paired up. So I would play 6, 7, 6, 7, third hand from the bottom. So these become more important. I would let the 5 dot go. And you might think, well, why not keep the green dragon? If we were to keep the green dragon, for example, for that concealed hand, we'd have to let go a pair. But see, American Mah Jongg is a game of multiples, and that pair is a multiple. It's better to leverage the multiple as opposed to a single tile. We could play 6, 7, 6, 7, no gaps at all. If we played the concealed hand, we could do 5, 6, 7, 8 with the dragon and the flower. I suppose what we could do here is maybe let go of the 9 BAM and keep that dragon and see if we pair up the 5 BAM or 8, and then we would use the most of our multiples supporting the 6, 7, and then break up that 6 dot if we get the 5, 8. But if we get a 7 dot, I'd let the dragon go. Okay, so we're going to continue, and we're going to pass 1, 5, 9. Okay, now here we got a 4. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7. The only hand we could really play there would be with the dragon. We have 2 tiles to pass, and we're going across, so we have to pick another tile. I think we have a hand already with our pairs in the middle, 5, 6, 7, 8, dragon. I'd let the 4 go. Now this is a little bit risky, passing like numbers. Passing like numbers is almost as risky as passing a pair. I think what I would do is keep the 4 and pass the 8 instead. Even though the 6, 7 would be pairs in the middle, I think that the stronger hand is 6, 7, 6, 7. That I think would be my plan A, because that is a hand of least resistance. You can use any number of jokers with that hand. Versus the concealed hand, we need 4 pair. Can't use jokers with pairs at all. So we have 2 pair in hand, but we have only 1 flower and 1 green dragon. Those are weaknesses. So we're going to let the 8 BAM go and see what happens with this next pass. We don't want to give our opponent like numbers, especially like numbers in a middle tile, 4 BAM or 4s. 4, 5, 6, those are the 3 middle tiles in a range. They're more likely going to be used by your opponents. So passing them like numbers in a 4, 5, 6, not recommended. We got a pair. There's another multiple. So now I would break up the 6, 7 in dots because we have another pair. So I would pass probably 9 north with a 7. Or maybe, yeah, we can keep the 6 dot for a little bit, I suppose. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We got a 5. Now we happen to have our pairs, so we're even in better shape. We have just one weakness, the flower. So I would even break up this pair of sixes and pass fully. We ended up with the 8 back. So now we have an option. So we have, with this Charleston, 4 discards. I would start by discarding the west because it's a wind, and then the chaff, the 1 and the 6, and gather 4, 5, 6, 7, or 5, 6, 7, 8, whichever one comes in. We're playing a concealed hand, so we just have to draw well. All we really need in here to strengthen what we have going is a flower. That's the only weakness. So I would say that was a really good Charleston. I'd say with 4 discards, we're a contender for the game. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed. It just means that we are a contender. Okay, any questions on this particular example? We're going to do one more, and then we're going to play the full game so we can get to planning discards during the pick and discard phase of the game. Everybody good with that? Let me know how many of these random pulls you want to do. We're going to do new tiles. All right, we are going to sort, and we're going to look for multiples. We have a north pair and a 9-dot pair. This is where you simplify because you target the multiple. That should be the first place your eyes go, the multiple. Then you look at the rest of your tiles and you gather tiles that can be used to support the multiple, playing a category that uses most of your tiles. Here with a 9-dot, I would say we keep the 8s. We do have a 3, so I think we could maybe keep the 3. We have no 6. So 3, 6, 9 is unlikely. We need enough tiles, though, to help us pass defensively. Which hand are you going for? We're not picking a hand yet. You don't have to pick a hand until you run out of discards. We play category level. Right now, most of our tiles are consecutive run. So we're probably going to play some kind of consecutive run hand. So we want big numbers, probably 6 through 8, 6 through 9, because our multiple is with the 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not looking at a hand yet. We have too many discards. We've got to gather more fodder to make a decision. So until you have enough tiles to help drive a decision, you don't even need to look at the card. Just gather. We're in gather mode right now. We're gathering tiles to support the 9-dot. And clearly, we're not going to use a 1 bam or a 4 crack. Those can go. Those are total chaff. There's no way we can use either one of those with a 9-dot. Actually, we could if we played the concealed odd hand. But we're so far away from being able to do that. I probably wouldn't do that. Maybe we could keep the 1. Let's say we do 1, 2. We pass 1, 2, 4, keep the 1, 5. If we get a 7-dot and a 3 bam, then maybe we could play the concealed hand. But the 1, 5, those would have been fine discards. I think 8, 9 right now is the better choice. Consecutive run. It's far more flexible than odds. Oh, you were talking the last hand. We were playing the concealed consecutive hand. Concealed consecutive. So sorry, Lori. Thank you, Karen. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 4. It's a little bit risky with a 1, 2, but at least it's in 2 different suits. And we have a 2, 4, 2 different suits. Those are both even. So we did the best we can with what we have. We're gathering tiles for probably 8, 9 consecutive run of some kind. Okay, now we have an 8-dot. We have a new multiple. Here's an 8 crack. I would keep it. I would let the odds go at this point because we have 2 pair that are consecutive. We do have a west here though. West, northwest, 8-9. The way that the consecutive tiles are used in the wind and dragon category are a short run of 3. So we wouldn't use the west with an 8-9 paired up like that. So, and I don't think I would pass a 1-5-3. That would be really risky. I think what I would do in this case is probably keep the 5 and pass the west. And more likely than not, the north is going to go away because we have 2 pair that are probably going to drive the hand, 8-9. If we get a south, we might be able to play the second hand down, but right now we have a pair gap. We have no 7 dot. So I wouldn't commit to that either because it's pretty weak with a pair gap. So you want to think about what you're passing and then look at what you have in your hand to see maybe what you can discard to make up a safe pass. And I would say this is better. All right, here we go. We have 4-5. Really the only way we can, the keeper in here probably would be the 5. And that's only if we get a 6-7. We could play 5 through 9. And we do have 3 tiles to pass. We definitely don't need a red dragon, not with a pair of 8s and 9s. We do not need a 4 dot because the 4 dot won't go all the way up to a 9. And the 5 bam, that's a different suit. And we have no 6-7. Even though we have no 6-7 with a 5 dot, I would not pass a 4-5 in dots. So just by process of elimination, you can mitigate risk in your passing. Okay, we have a dragon, which is not real helpful. An east, just as useless as the west. So I would just pass these on and keep going. We may or may not be able to use the 8s. I'm holding those, the 8 bam and the 8 crack. I'm holding those in case we get a matching 9, because then we could play 8-9, 8-9, which is a hand of least resistance. And incidentally, that's the topic for next week. Those are great hands because you can use any number of jokers. They're indestructible, basically. Okay, we have red, west, 4. Don't need those at all. We can just pay those forward. This looks like a pass we sent off before. I would just continue. 1-2 is a little bit risky, but so is 4-5 in 1 suit. And I would keep both of my 8s in case we get a 9 that matches for 8-9, 8-9. All right, we have discards again. I would pass fully. We ended up with a 9. So really the north's not useful at all for us, not with consecutive pairs. So if this were my hand, I would probably play 8-9, 8-9. 8-9, 8-9. Same hand as that we were looking at before. Third hand from the bottom. 8-9, 8-9, leveraging the 8-9 consecutive pairs. And we would have here 4 discards with joker bait. The north is joker bait. And if you want to know more about that, we have lots of videos on joker bait and how that strategy works. We have 4 discards with joker bait. I probably would start by discarding the dragons. And probably dragons, if you're not using the dragons, come right after wins. So I would do wins, dragons, year tiles. Incidentally, the dragons technically are year tiles, white dragons specifically. And then third hand down under the year, there are dragons there as well. So wins, dragons go first if you're not going to use them. And then I usually hold flowers because we might be able to switch to maybe 7-8-9 or 8-9 dragon. If we get the white dragon, we can maybe use the flower, depending on if something else pairs up for 8-9-8-9. Right now we have a hand with no gaps. So probably this is how I would discard the red dragon, then the green dragon. It's arbitrary which one. Then I would throw the 5 dot because I'd want to hold the north to see if somebody's playing wins. We might be able to get a joker out of the north. Even though we're not going to use it, we might be able to coax an exposure with a joker. All right, so that's it. We're going to close and we're going to play now with robots. And we're going to get into, we're going to play, let me share my screen so you can see how to get to playing with robots. So here we have the game Launchpad. You just click play with robots, official game. I would play an official game. You can play just for fun also. And we're going to play with the intermediate bots. We'll launch the game. Let me just stop sharing. And then I will share the game window. Okay, here we go. All right, now we're going to play the full game and we'll be able to talk a lot more about discarding in the pick and discard phase of the game. So we're going to focus on the Charleston as well, but we're going to add the discarding and planning discards through the pick and discard phase of the game and how to simplify that process. So we're going to play with intermediate and we'll start
first Charleston.
And then we're going to sort by suit. All right, let's look and see what we have. This will be a good one because we have no multiples. We have a joker, a flower, white dragon. Oh no, we do. We have a pair of twos. Okay, good. We have a multiple. It makes it easy. Simplify by starting with the multiple. 2. So we have 4, 5, 7, 9 in BAMs, 8, 9 in cracks, 1, 6, 9 in dots. And you would look here and you'd say to yourself, probably, we have a lot of big numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers that are 6 plus. So there are more tiles for consecutive run using big numbers, but our multiple is with the 2. Start with the multiple. We can maybe use the 1. We might be able to use the 4, 5 if we get the filler tiles. We need a 3, 4 or a 2. We need a 3 BAM to connect the 2 with the 4, 5. We might even be able to play a year hand. So I would keep 1, 2, 4, 5. You want to try to keep 4 or 5 numbers in a range around the multiple. In this case, the 2. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 4, 5. So keep those tiles. And now we have tiles we can pass. And we just want to pass as defensively as possible. So I would probably pass 1 of each suit. 6, 8, 9. I do see that we have some even potential here. We have 2, 4 in BAMs and 6, 8 dot crack. We have a 9 BAM up there. Let's see, maybe we rework this just a second here. 1, 2 in dots. Maybe we let the 1 go. Let's see if evens comes in. We could still maybe do consecutive run, but we do have some 2, 4, 6, 8. And it would be 1 hand. That would be the 4th hand down. And we have a gap, no 4 dot. So I would say it's a plan B. Consecutive run or a year hand would probably be better. Since our pairs with the 2 BAM, I think we can let the 1 dot go to see what happens. We have a 4 BAM. So now we have another multiple, 2, 4. So that 2, 4, 6, 8 hand might work if we can get a 4 dot. That's a big if though. We have 2 wins. I wouldn't pass both. I think what I would do here, we have a 2, 4 in BAMs. I probably would let the 5 go because we have no 3. So when you're trying to decide from your keepers what to let go of, look for either isolated tiles to help you pass or gaps to help you identify a useless tile. So if we play 2, 4, 6, 8, which we have the tiles for, we don't need the 5 because that's an odd number. So we're going to let the 5 bam go. Okay, now we did pick up a 3 crack, but there's no knitted hand in consecutive run. So even though we have 2, 3, 4, that 3 crack is really not useful. Just, it might look good, but it's really not this year. So I would probably pass the 9 with a 3 and a wind. 3, 9 wind. And this is not too bad of a pass. It's a little bit risky because of the 3, 9, but at least they're in different suits. And that category is very challenging. You have to have a really good, strong representation. So it's a difficult category. I don't feel bad about passing 3, 6, 9 tiles together. Okay, so now we've got another pair, the 6. So we have 2, 4, 6. If we can get a 4 dot, we will be sitting very, very nicely. Sitting pretty, maybe. Right now we've got a gap, so we're in a risky spot. If we get an 8 dot, maybe we could play the 3rd hand down. So we're in between the 3rd hand down and the 4th hand down. Either way, we have a gap. So let's pass. Oh, we definitely
Charleston stopped courtesy pass.
Okay, somebody stopped the Charleston. Agata stopped the Charleston. So we can pass fully to the player across from us. All right, we ended up with one, let's see, we have a white, let's use the flower to kind of separate our tiles. So we have a flower, white dragon, 1, 9 and cracks, 9 bam north. We have 6 discards. Even though we do have tiles for the category with 3 multiples, we have 6 discards. If you have more than 4 discards, you're probably going to be an underdog unless you draw really well quickly. So we're just going to continue. All hope is not lost. We've got multiples, and that's the silver lining. We're just going to gather. We're going to gather every even tile, no matter what suit it is, until we run out of these discards. So again, you really don't have to pick a hand, and you don't have to even look at the card. All you need to do is gather, and that's how you simplify this process. So we're going to discard from the winds first. So winds go first, then dragons if you're not going to use it. So the dragon will go next, and then your number tiles that are clearly chaff. We have odd numbers. We clearly don't need those because we're gathering evens. So the numbers to the right of the flower, those are all chaff. We don't need any of them. So we're going to start by discarding the north.
North. 9 dot.
Okay, and we don't need an odd.
Red.
We're not playing dragons.
Flower.
We don't need flowers, not right now, not with a 2, 4, 6 and 2 suits. There's no way to use flowers, so we're letting it go. Oh, we have a pair, 9 crack. Anytime you pick into a pair or you draw a tile that creates a pair, reassess and figure out if that is going to be useful to you for your chosen category, or maybe it'll be useful as joker bait. And that's what we have here. We do not need a 9 crack. So that we're going to hold on to until the middle of the middle game, which is right around 60 tiles remaining. Right now, there are 95 tiles left. So when we get to about 60 tiles remaining in the wall, that's when we let one of these tiles go, and we might be able to get a joker. So let's discard the flower or the white dragon.
Soap. 2 bam.
Okay, now here we have to make a decision. We could play 2, 4, 6, 8, 3rd hand down on the right, 2, 4 in bams, 6, 8 in dots. So we would have to dedicate this joker as an 8 dot. Because we have a gap, I would not take that 2 bam, not yet. Because if we happen to get a 4, let's see, if we get a 4 dot, we're in much better shape for the next hand down. There's still another 2 bam. So I would let this one go. And if another 2 bam is discarded, I would rethink it. So we're going to let this one go.
8 bam.
We're not ready for an 8 bam at all.
9 crack.
Oh, here's an interesting tile. This is our joker bait. Let's see if anybody takes it. They didn't. Therefore, that is not going to be good joker bait, typically. Now, we are in the early game. Maybe someone will change their mind on their hand. Maybe they weren't ready to call it. But at the moment, this is not looking good for joker bait. We got a 4 crack. That is an even number. Keep it. Even if it doesn't work for the 2 hands that we're thinking of, second hand down on the, or third hand down on the right, and then the 4th hand down, we're going to keep it anyway because it's an even number. You can use it in this category. So we're just going to keep every even number, no matter what suit it is. We've got discards, so we have the room to keep it. So let's discard. Looks like nobody wants 9s.
9 bam. Call.
Oh,
6
look,
bam.
surprise, somebody took a 9. And there's a joker up for grabs, by the way. So here's the even number. We're not ready to call that at all, so we're going to let it go.
Call. 7 crack.
There's a pung of 6s up there. We got to remember that in case we decide, oh, maybe we could play this third hand down in one suit. No, because there's a Kong up there of 6s.
Joker swap. West.
Okay, so they got that 9 bam joker. 5 bam. 5 bam. Somebody kept the 5 bam during the Charleston. I think we should let it go now.
5 bam. 3 dot.
Okay, we don't want a 3.
5 crack.
No, don't need a 5
8 dot.
crack. Okay, now that 8 dot, we kind of want that, but we're not ready for it. 5 crack, we can let
5
that go.
crack. 3 crack.
Don't need that.
South.
Don't need wins.
West.
Don't need wins. We got a 3 bam. Okay, now here is an interesting tile. 2, 3, 4. We kept that flower. We could maybe play 2, 3, 4 consecutive run. And the reason why I would consider that is because an 8 dot is out. If we were to consider playing 2, 4 in bams, 6, 8 in dots, we would need to dedicate a joker for that 8 dot. We still don't have a 4 dot for the 4th hand down, and that's a gap. If we keep that flower, we could maybe play 2, 3, 4 consecutive Kongs, no gaps. You want to look for hands where you can maybe play with no gaps. So when you're playing evens and you get a filler tile, go through that process where you can compare your options, because that 3 bam may be useful to us. We definitely don't need the 1 crack.
1 crack.
And the 9 crack
3
will
bam.
probably not be good joker bait. That's our tile, but we can't take it. We're going to have to let it go.
Flower.
We don't want that right now.
8 crack.
8 crack. We need a pair for that if we play that 4th hand down. Dragon. Now there's an interesting tile, maybe. Let's let the 9 crack go now.
9 crack. 3 bam.
Nobody wanted it. There goes the other 3 bam. I would give up on that now. We would need 2
5 bam.
for that.
West.
I think what I would do because we're now 74 tiles in, we might need to commit to a 2, 4, 6, 8 hand, let the dragon go, because there's 2, 3 bams out, there's a 5 bam out, 6 bam is out. So our consecutive potential is dwindling. Joker, nice. Okay, let's let the 9 crack go.
9 crack. North.
We don't need wins.
East.
Don't need that.
East.
Oh yeah, and by the way, probably this flower might need to go. If we're going to use 2, 4, 6 in 2 suits, I think the best hand for us is going to be the 3rd hand down on the right. And we can use jokers for our missing 8 dot. We're playing what I call a gap hand right now. It is not ideal. I think I would let's see, wait, oh no, how many 5 bams are out? 2 5 bams are out. I was a little bit interested in 4, 5 dragon, 4 bam, 5 bam dragon, but there are 2 5 bams out. We're much better off leveraging our 3 multiples here.
5 bam. 6 dot.
Lori, this is the 3rd hand down on the right. under evens. And here we have a 6-dot pair in our hand. We could pung that. And actually, I would. Even though we're playing a gap hand, we don't have to use a joker. So, and we're playing 2, 4, 6, 8, pung kong, pung kong. You can use any number of jokers. So I would call it. Now, this is the first 6 dot. If you're playing really conservatively, you could let this go. Maybe we'll let it go for now. The challenge is this player across from us has 6s. If they're playing like numbers with 6s, they may call that also. And if they are, incidentally, they're going to get it before us. Let's ignore it and see what happens. Now, also, this player on our left has 9 bams. If they're playing 3, 6, 9, they might use it as well. Let's ignore it and see what happens.
7 bam.
Okay, we don't need that.
1 dot.
If the 6 dot goes down again, we'll take it. Okay, so let's see. We have 1, 2. How many 3 bams are out? 2. I was just looking at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 flower. The problem, or not the problem, the challenge. The challenge with this particular hand is the 3 bam. There are 2 out. There's only 1 more. If we were to commit to that, it would be pretty risky. But really, the hand that we're probably going to end up with is 2, 4 in bams, 6, 8 in dots, even though we have a gap, no 8 dot. I think what we could do is keep it and let the 4 crack go and see what happens.
4 crack. 1 crack.
We're going to ignore.
2 dot.
Ignore that.
7 crack.
Okay, we need a keeper in here. 3 dot. That is not helpful. We're looking for either a 3 bam for 1, 2, 3, 4, or an 8 dot for 2, 4, 6, 8, which is ideal because that uses each of our multiples.
3 dot. 1 dot.
We're going to let that go.
2 bam.
This has been a very challenging game, hand, actually. All right, now here's the second opportunity for a 2 bam, and I would take it at this point. We are at 60 tiles. We're in the middle of the middle game. We're at 59 tiles remaining. So I think we need to dig in if we have any chance of winning. So we're going to call. Even though we're playing a gap hand, we can have a pure pung by calling the 2, playing the 3rd hand down on the right. Pung kong, 2, 4 in bams, pung kong in dots. So we're going to pung.
Call.
And now we'll let the riskiest tile go first. If you're playing to win, discard your riskiest tile first.
Flower. 1 dot.
Okay, we don't need that.
East.
And then we don't have any wins, so the next in the list is dragons. So the dragon will go next. Dragons are risky to hold on to if you're not using them.
7 crack.
Okay, so let's discard the dragon.
Green. North.
Okay, we don't need that.
North.
Don't need wins.
9 dot.
Don't want wins, so that goes first.
West. 7 crack.
We'll let that go.
South.
Let that go.
9 dot.
Don't need 9 dot. Dragon, that goes first.
Red. 5 dot.
Okay, now let's just quickly look and see what we have here. We're 2 picks, really 1 pick away from the end game, 40 tiles. When there are 40 tiles left, that's the end game. So I want to just quickly look and see of our chaff, which are these 4 tiles to the right of the joker, 8 crack, there's 1 out. 1 bam, none are out. So that's going to be a risky tile because it's fresh. It hasn't been thrown yet. 3 bam, 2 are out. So that's a good tile for later. 7 dot, I don't see any out. So probably the 1 and the 7 dot, those are going to go first because they're not out yet and we're getting ready to go into the end game. So you want to try to have tiles that have already been thrown for later discarding, because they're probably not wanted by anybody. So we're going to ignore the 5 dot.
Call. 8 bam.
Okay, now over here, they're playing 5779 Pung Kong. We need to expedite this 7 dot as a discard. We are not quite in the end game. So we're hoping that they're not ready to Mahjong on that 7 dot, because they're playing 5779. Second hand down on the right under odds. We're going to let that go, and we're going to let the 7 dot go. Hold your breath, because they could Mahjong.
7 dots Mah Jongg.
There it is. To be the winning tile for anybody. So even though you might think you've got time in the game, or you can account for tiles, that discard could be used with jokers. As a matter of fact, they did use jokers for that. They had 2 jokers in their hand, and they had a pung in their hand already. So they were further along than I anticipated, and that's okay. If you throw the winning tile, you just pay the penalty with dignity and move on to the next game. Now, if somebody, let me just talk about this really quick, because this debate came up in social media yesterday, and a couple of things went on in my mind. And basically the question was, if actually this was a couple days ago, but anyhow, this person asked me, if I have a natural tile with 2 jokers and somebody throws my tile, should I call it and make an exposure with those jokers? Because you're going to risk losing those jokers in an exchange. That is a consideration, just like a consideration in the end game when you discard a potentially winning tile to somebody. Would you discard, or would you call and potentially lose jokers, and later in the game, kind of on the other side of the coin, would you discard something risky? Either way, you have to calculate the risks and then make a decision, act on whatever it is that you decide, and then accept the consequences with dignity. So in this case, I threw the winning tile. That's okay. It's a game. We're not doing surgery. Nobody's life is at risk. We're playing a game. If you're playing in person and you play for money, we're going to need to pay a penalty, and our opponents who did not win, they're going to pay the value on the card, and you might get a scrunched nose from somebody at the table. That's not your problem. That's their problem, because you calculated the risk, you made a decision, and you discarded, and that's okay. It's okay if there's a winner based on your discard. It's okay. It's part of the game. So just accept the consequences with dignity and move on to the next game. Try not to put so much pressure on yourself. I would not break up my hand this early in the game. There were still, we had just entered the end game. And even though we have a gap, we could still call for 2 of these blocks. So I would not have broken up my hand. They had they had 2 exposures and a clear hand, but I decided to play to win. I calculated the risks. I decided to play to win. I threw the tile and somebody won. Part of the game. And it's one reason why we keep coming back. And so do the people who didn't win at the table. They keep coming back. You know, maybe they'll be a little miffed that you threw the winning tile and you're playing a gap hand. Try not to take their criticism personally and just move on. All right, we're gonna let's see here. Yeah, next game.
First Charleston.
Which hand is the winner? They played the second hand down on the right under odds. Oh, let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see here. All right, what do we have here? We have a joker, 3 flowers, north, white dragon, 3 bam, 7 bam, 2 4 cracks, 1 2 9 in dots. We have a multiple, the flowers, but those can be used all over the card. So whenever you have multiples that are flowers, just know that you're going to use them. And then look at the rest of your tiles and decide what category could I play that is going to use flowers that will then use most of my tiles. And what I would probably try here is maybe a year hand or like numbers with probably 2s. So I would hold the 3, the white, and the 2s. You know what we could maybe do is play 1 2 dragon and let a flower go. And I would stop there because we have 4 discards. Yes, that's correct, Karen. Okay, so we're going to pass the north, and then let's pass a 9 and the 4. I'd say that doesn't have too much risk. Okay, we have our first multiple with a number tile, the 1 dot. You know what I would do here? Instead of holding 2s and year tiles, I would let those go and hold 1s, because we might be able to play like numbers with 1s and use all those flowers. But we could also maybe let a flower go and play the 3rd hand down under consecutive run. Either way, we have 4 discards now. We built a multiple, and this is a game of multiples, so you reassess. We reassessed, and we're going to give up the 2 3 and bams. Now, technically, we do have a hand in here. 1 2 3 mixed suit Kongs, 5th hand down on the right. But we need to pass a tile. I want to try to use all 3 of these flowers. That's why I want to keep the one bam. And then the other thing I thought about is maybe we could do 1 2 dragon and let the 2 3 go, because I typically don't pass white dragons. So I would then pass 7 3 2. Lori, you might want to look at, let me see here. Let me just break for 1 second, because it sounds like you're brand new to the game. And the next fundamental video that we're doing on Nitty-Gritty basics is how to pick a hand on October 16th. This is a game of critical thinking. So there's a lot of thought process that goes on. So in the beginning, it is a little bit overwhelming. If you just observe and try to soak it up, it'll make sense as you go. Next week, we're talking about the hands of least resistance. That might be a good one for you to come to as well, because we're going to talk about the hands that are basically indestructible. So consider coming next Monday if you're overwhelmed right now. Okay. So just try to breathe through it and just drink it in, experience it, because everything that we're sharing here is going to be helpful as you learn the game and understand the nuances of how to build, how to create a hand. It will start to sink in. Don't throw in the towel. Keep the towel. You're going to be fine, Lori. If you, look for my email in the video description below. Send me an email and let's connect because I can help you. Do not throw in the towel. This is a great game. It is a complex game. So it requires critical thinking, but once you get through the learning curve, it gets much easier. You're just in the heat of the moment. You're right in that learning curve where it's the most challenging, but you can do it. American Mah Jongg, I think, is the hardest one to learn, but once you learn it, it is the easiest one to play. You just have to get through the learning curve. So send me an email and we'll connect, okay? All right. So we're probably going to play maybe like numbers, the first like number hand, or maybe 1-2 dragon, which is the third hand underneath consecutive run. Okay, we didn't get any keepers. Let's see, we have 5, 6, 7. That's pretty risky. I probably would pass odds and the dragon. Oh, we got a dragon again. Okay, we're
Second Charleston.
Okay, now, oh, here's the thing though. We just passed a dragon with, what did we send them? Oh my gosh, now I forgot. I don't want to send them another dragon. I think we should let something go. The 1 bam. We're going to play 1-2 dragon, third hand down, because we're already giving them more 3, 6, 9 tiles. I don't want to give them 2 dragons either. Oh, and then look, we got the 1 bam. Darn it. Okay, let's pass 6, green, 9. That's a little bit risky, but we got that 1 bam. Oh, these are not keepers. This is a little bit risky, but it's the best we can do.
Courtesy pass.
Oh, we got the 1 dot. Okay, so here, let's see, 1 dot. I would probably pass 1, 8, 7. I'd pass fully and commit to that third hand down probably. I still kind of think about like numbers, but we have a huge gap. We have no 1 crack. We're going to let it go.
Flower.
No keepers. Okay, now we're not going to take that because we only need a pair. So the north will go first, then the dragon, and then the 7 crack.
Soap.
Oh, shoot. We're not ready for that.
3 crack.
We're good. We just got a 3 crack. Let's throw the
North. 9 dot.
We can pass.
4 dot.
Don't need a 4 dot.
1 bam.
There goes the 1 bam. Okay, here's a red dragon. Oh, goodness. Okay, let's see here. Part of me is thinking maybe we could play like numbers with 1s and dragons. Look, we have 3 tiles with dragons. We really don't need this 3 crack though. Let's let that
3
go
crack.
first.
6 bam. 8 bam.
Okay, we don't need the 8 bam.
9 bam.
Don't need 9. There's the
9
9
bam.
again.
Red.
Okay, we don't need that. If we use
Flower.
these dragons, they'll be singles. Yeah, we don't need the flower. We're not playing a 4 flower hand. We're going to let it go.
Soap.
Well, there goes the other soap, 2 now. So this 1-2 dragon, third hand down under consecutive run is not looking good.
7 crack.
Because our
9
white
crack.
dragons are going down.
Flower.
And there's, let's see, 1 bam out right now.
North.
Okay, we don't need the 8 dot.
8 dot. 7 bam.
We don't need that.
8 bam.
I have to tell you,
5 bam.
we don't need a bam. 5 dot, clearly we don't need that either. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should keep that. It's kind of, our options are somewhat dwindling. we don't need the 6 crack at all. That's a chaff completely. So we'll let that
6
go.
crack.
Part of
1
me was
crack.
thinking we could play 1, 3, 5 dragon. That would be the 4th hand under odds, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. But there are 2 white dragons out, so it's probably unlikely. Also, now the 1 crack is going down, and we're not ready for it for a like number hand.
9 crack.
We don't need 9 crack.
South.
Nor do we need a south. We got a joker. All right. This might blow you out of the water here. We're going to let the 5 dot go because we have no 3 dot.
5 dot. Green.
Part of me is thinking that we should maybe even consider playing a quint now that we have 2 jokers, but we need a different 2.
5 dot.
We could still maybe play 1, 2 dragon.
6 bam.
Just see what happens. Oh my goodness. A green dragon pair. We don't need it, and it's already out. Let's just
Red.
throw it. They are
Flower.
pretty tiles, but they're not useful to us. And I would not commit to that 4 flower without a 2 in an opposite suit for the 3rd quint. And this is supposed to be nitty-gritty basics. Beginners typically don't want to play a quint.
3 crack.
You really shouldn't be intimidated by it, though. If you have the tiles for it, you
9
should go
dot.
for it. If we get
6
a 2,
crack.
we might go for
2
it.
dot.
Okay, here. First 2 dot. I think we should call it and Kong. The reason is because we have no gaps. Yes, our tiles are out, the white dragons, but we can use jokers. And we have our pair, the flowers. So we're going to call it and Kong.
Call.
Now let's let go of the dragon.
Green. Red.
We're going to throw away this flower soon also.
7 bam. 7 dot.
We don't need the 7 dot.
Call. 9 dot.
9 dot. There's a joker up for grabs.
South.
Let's see. Yes.
Joker swap.
Oh, darn
8
it.
dot.
Okay. Oh, there's the 2. All right, let's let the green dragon
Green.
go.
9 crack.
This 2 crack, we really don't need that. And it's not out yet either.
Call. 3 bam.
Okay.
Call. 1 bam.
Don't need 1 bam. It's
4
already
crack.
going out. 4 crack. We're looking for the other white dragon or jokers. East, we don't need.
East. 5 bam.
There are 2 jokers up for grabs. 1, no, those are locked in. There are 2 9 cracks out.
1 bam.
No, we don't
5
need
dot.
that. Don't need 5 dot either. 8 dot. I think that was just
8 dot.
thrown right
North.
there. Okay, we're gonna
5 crack.
We don't need that. 5 crack. We don't need. We're looking for white
7
dragon.
bam.
White dragon and jokers. Oh my goodness, we get a 2 crack now. Okay, let's see. Let's throw the flower.
Flower. Green.
Okay, so now we have joker bait. This is where joker bait, we might get a joker out of it, and really we need to let it go
9
now
dot.
because we're nearing 40 tiles remaining.
3 dot.
We don't want that. Okay, let's let the 2 crack go.
2 crack. Call. 7 bam.
Oh, they didn't use the joker, so now we know that's a safe discard. Okay, let's see. So it looks like they're playing 2 crack, 3 crack, 2 bam, 3 bam, 2 3 2 3. That's my guess. That's the 3rd hand from the bottom under consecutive run.
1 crack.
We're an underdog here. 3 dot. Oh, maybe we can switch to 1 2 3 Kongs.
2 crack. West.
We're going to keep that 3 dot. How many are out? 1.
Call. Flower.
We don't need that. 4 bam. This should be safe.
4 bam. 6 crack.
We don't need a 6 crack.
6 crack.
That's already
4
been
bam.
thrown. 4 bam just thrown. East. Okay, here we go. Let's throw, east 1. East is out. This is going to be risky. I'm going to throw it.
East, Mah Jongg.
Mahjong. Okay, it's okay. If you throw the winning tile, that's it. They had their pairs. I was thinking maybe it was too soon for them to have their pairs already, but they do. Okay, so we were playing 1, 2, 3 in one suit, fifth hand down on the right, or 1, 2 dragon. We had really only 2 discards, and one was risky. All right, let's play again.
First Charleston.
Okay, next game. And we have another challenge here. We have 1 multiple. So that's where we start, the 1 bam. And with the rest of our tiles, I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive run. And we have tiles we can pass, 1 of each suit. So let's play 1, 2, 3, 4. If we get a 5, we might be able to play little odds. We got a 5. Okay, now we have another multiple in here, but most of our tiles are little, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would break that up. And probably we have 1, 3, 3, 5. We actually have a hand in here, 2 hands. We could play little odds, second hand down on the left, or we could play the fourth, let's see, the 5th hand down under odds. So let's pass the 4 crack. Okay, we're going to keep little odds. So let's keep the 5 dot. Let's see, here's a 4 bam. We do have still 1, 2, 3, 4, but we have all 8s. I would not pass all 8s. We have 2, 3. We have a 1 bam. That's the strength. So let's let the 2 go and the 4. We're going to focus on little odds. And that's a little bit risky, but it's the best we can do with what we have. We got a 5 bam and a 3 crack. Little odds. We're going to keep going.
Second Charleston.
We have 2 tiles. We need to let something go. We have 1, 3 in bams, 3, 5 in cracks. Second hand down. We could maybe play the 5th hand down also. Let's let this 5 bam go. That one or the 5 dot. We got a keeper. 2 keepers. Look at, we got the 5 dot too. But we have tiles we can pass there. And we need to let something go. I'm thinking because the dragon is really weak, only 1. It's the 5th hand down is the one we would play. 1, 3, 3, 5 with the dragon. Actually, I think, okay, sorry, that's my dog. He's freaking out. Okay, I think we should let the 5 dot go. Because even if we kept it, we're not going to be able to use it with our multiples. Okay. Riley, no. Shoot. Sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I need to pause for a second. Let me do this pass because Riley's going to freak out. We're having roof, or we're getting our roof replaced and the people just came. So I'm going to put him in the back. So I need to step away for just a second. I'll be right back.
Courtesy pass.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's see here. Okay, how many tiles? Let's see, what do we have here? We have 1, 3, 3, 5 dragon, 5th hand down on the left, or 2nd hand down on the left. We should pass fully. Let's do the south, the 8, and the 3. Actually, let's keep the 3 and let the 4 go. We have all the 3s. If we get flowers, we could maybe even switch to like numbers.
Flower.
We didn't get any keepers. Okay, so simplify. South goes first.
6 crack.
We got a joker.
South.
This is
5
so
dot.
much better than the other hands we've been playing. We're playing a hand of least resistance, actually. Pung Kong, probably the 2nd hand down under odds. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We're going to ignore that.
4 crack.
We don't need that.
Red.
Don't need a dragon. Okay. We don't need any of these tiles here. Let's let the 7 dot go.
7 dot. South.
Okay, we're going to pass on that.
Flower. 7 dot.
We don't need 7 dot. Okay, 1 crack. 1, 3. This is kind of a keeper because we're playing little odds, 1, 3, 5. So technically we could use that. Maybe. We have 2 discards. Let's let the 4 dot.
4 dot. 9 bam.
Okay, we don't need that at all.
8 bam.
Don't need this.
2 crack.
Don't need a 2 crack. We got a joker. Now we're to let the 2 bam go.
2 bam.
And now we have
4
all
crack.
keepers. So this is where you look for those the useless tiles or isolated tiles, like this 3 dot. That is not helpful to us at all. And really the 1 crack. We have 2 hands that we can potentially play. 2nd hand down and the 5th hand down. And that would leave these 2 isolated tiles.
South.
We don't need south.
4 bam.
We're looking for a 1 bam, 3 bam, 3 crack, 5 crack. We already threw
2
a
bam.
2.
7 bam.
We don't need a 7.
8 bam.
Don't need 8. We're looking for
West.
1, 3, 3, 5.
Call. 3 bam.
Okay, that's our tile. Since we have a hand with no gaps and jokers, we should take that. Hand with no gaps, go for it. We're going to call, and that would be a Kong for that 2nd hand down. And since the white dragon is not coming out and we only have 1, I would give up on that 5th hand down. We're going to Kong.
Call.
Then we're going to let the riskiest tile go first, which is the white dragon.
Soap. Call. Flower.
That we would not have gotten it. And we would have needed a Kong. All right, so we're going to ignore that.
3 dot.
We don't, yeah, we're not interested. North, we can let that
North.
go.
Joker swap. East.
Okay, we're good there.
4 bam.
Don't need 4. We're looking for
4
1,
dot.
3, 5. The 3 dot was discarded,
3
so we
dot.
can let that go.
1 bam.
Okay, that's our tile. We can call with a pung.
Call.
And now we discard, let's say, the 1 dot.
1 dot.
It's arbitrary.
5 dot.
Okay, and we're set to go.
9 crack.
We're ready to pung and Kong, and I would, even though we might
3
end up
crack.
with 3 exposures, it's okay. We're gonna call. So we'll pung.
Call.
And
1 crack.
we're ready on a 5
8 crack. Call.
Don't-
7 bam.
There's a joker up for grabs. We got a joker, so we mahjong. We got one.
Mahjong.
Woohoo! All right, 1, 3, 3, 5, 2nd hand down. This is a hand of least resistance. Pung Kong, any number of jokers all over the place. Okay, let's play again.
First Charleston.
I'm so happy we got in a win after throwing the tile twice. All right, we need to move on. Okay, so now we have another very challenging hand. No multiples. So this is where you look at what you have and find the predominant pattern. So wins are difficult because they're very specific. I would ignore the dragon for the moment. We have 5 bam, 1, 6, 8, 9 in cracks, 3, 5, 6 in dots. I would say our predominant pattern is 5, 6, or big numbers. I would hold 5 through 9. 5, 6, 8, 9, 5, 6. So I would hold 5, 6, 7, 8 probably. This dragon we might be able to use if the 8, 9 pair up. And that leaves us with 4 discards. So I would pass these 3. Thanks for the support for that last hand. Oh, we got a multiple here, the dragon. Here's another dragon. Okay, now with these dragons, we have our first multiple. For sure, the west can go. We have 4, 5. The 9 can go because we really have 4, 5, 6 as our predominant pattern. But at the moment, our only multiple is with the red dragon. The only way we could really use that would be with 8, 9 dragon. And we do have a flower. 8, 9 dragon. Let's see. Another way we could potentially use that is to play a 3, 6, 9 hand. If we get a 6, 3, 9 in another suit for the knitted hand, which is the third or second hand from the bottom. So just by process of elimination, building around the dragon, I would probably let these go here. Maybe one of the 5s. So we're not left with 2 5s. I'd pass that. Okay, now we have west can go, 1 can go. We have a pair of red dragons. Let's let the 4 bam go. Part of me is thinking maybe we could play a year hand if we get a 3 bam. This would be the 3rd hand down under the year. We didn't get it, but we did get a 7 crack. 7, 8, 9 dragon. Okay, so we're going to
Second Charleston.
Let's pass south 8 with a 5. No keepers. West, let's say 2 with a 6, I guess. This is a little bit risky. Okay, now we can do 5 west 9. We're keeping
Courtesy pass.
Okay, now, oh, this is interesting. Look, we got a 2, 4. We could play 2, 4, 6, 8 with dragons. This would be the concealed hand probably. And we have 3 tiles we can pass. Green, south, 8. So we're looking at either the concealed consecutive hand or the even concealed hand.
Soap.
Okay, no keepers. We're going to pass on that. Oh, we have a pair
5
we don't
dot.
need.
Soap.
Pair we don't need, 2 bam.
Green.
Okay.
Green.
Green.
Green. South.
Okay, we can let that
7
go.
crack.
Oh, that could be a keeper for us, but we're not ready to take it at all.
West.
There's a north. We
North.
need that.
5 bam.
Don't need 5 bam.
South.
South can go.
4 bam.
4 bam we don't need. We're looking for cracks. Oh, joker will do. 7 dot. That's a chaff. We don't need it at all.
7 dot. 2 crack.
Okay, that's our keeper, but we are playing concealed.
6 bam.
We're okay there.
Flower.
We're not calling anything. We're still gathering. Another joker. Let's let the 2 bam go.
2 bam. 9
We're
bam.
going to have to make a choice in a few minutes. With all of these jokers, I probably would play the exposable hand, which would be the third hand down under consecutive run.
2 crack.
And there's another 2 crack.
9 bam.
Let's let
2
the
bam.
bam go.
7 crack.
Oh, 7. That's the second 7 crack.
1 crack.
We can ignore that one.
9 bam.
We don't need a 1 dot.
1 dot call. 8 crack.
Oh, okay. So this is where we have to make a choice. The 7 cracks are out, 2 of them. We could still play 2, 4, 6, 8 concealed, but we don't have our multiples, our pairs. We could play 8, 9 dragon, and I would call it, because our options are dwindling. The 2 cracks are out and the 7 cracks are out. So I would call this because our options are dwindling. We're going to call. All right, now let's let the 6 bam
6
go.
bam.
So
4
that
bam.
means that the 7 crack we can keep in case we get more discards, but I would say probably 8, 9 dragon, third hand down is what we're looking at.
6 crack.
We'll
Joker swap. 9 dot.
We don't need it.
North. 8 bam.
So we need 9 crack. That's what we're looking
1
for.
bam.
And we still need to pair up our flower.
6 bam.
Oh, we don't
7
need
dot.
7 dot.
West.
We're good there.
5 dot.
Don't need 5 dot.
Green.
We need a keeper. That would be a keeper. Flower. That's good. That's the only weakness that we had. Now we just need to gather 9 crack, red, jokers.
2 crack. West.
We'll pass.
5 crack.
We don't need that.
3 crack.
We're looking for a 9 crack to draw. We need to draw.
East. 9 dot.
The 6 crack and 7 crack probably are going to go. 6 crack. 1 is out. 2 7 cracks are out.
7 bam. West.
We're looking for a 9 crack. Or
East.
Or jokers.
Red.
We might as well call it. We've got the tiles.
4
Now we
crack.
just
Joker
need to
swap.
focus on 9
8 bam.
cracks. And it's okay if
7
you
bam.
expose jokers. You count the cost and make a decision. If you put them out there, expect that they'll go away, but you will be building your hand. You're furthering your own hand development, and that is okay. It is risky, yes, but really every move you make is going to be risky.
8 bam.
Okay, so let's throw the
7 crack. 4 crack.
We're committed to 8, 9, which is
2
fine
bam.
because we have no gaps.
6 bam.
We don't need that at all. 5 crack can
5
go.
crack.
That was
Call.
just thrown.
3 crack.
Hey, they didn't want it just a minute ago. That's locked in, that joker.
North. 6 dot.
We're looking for
call.
a 9
1
crack.
crack. 2 dot.
Don't need
Call.
2.
3 crack.
We got skipped.
9 dot.
We're good there. 6 dot. We do not need that.
6 dot.
It's already
South.
out. We'll
Flower.
pass that by. We don't need flowers.
4
thankfully. 2 bam. That's already
2
out.
bam. 4 bam.
We're good there.
8 bam. 1 dot.
Don't need that. We need 9. A joker will
6
do.
crack. 1 crack.
Okay, so we just need 1 more joker or a 9 crack.
7
We have
bam.
30 tiles left for, so we're in the end game. Right here's the marker.
2 crack.
Nope. Okay, 4 crack I think was just thrown.
4 crack. 2 dot.
The 6 crack it seems
5
nobody
dot.
wants.
East.
Okay. 9 dot nobody wanted.
6 crack. South.
We're good
Joker
there.
swap. Mahjong.
Oops, somebody got Mahjong. But look how close we got. All right, so we got close to 8, 9 dragon, third hand down. They have a hand of least resistance with the help of jokers. Always nice. Okay, let's do one more game.
First Charleston.
We're going to try one more game. All right, we have 3 jokers, a north, green dragon, 3 8 and bams, 3 6 8 and dots, or cracks, sorry, 2 4 8 9 and dots. So we have no multiples again. This is where you look for the predominant pattern. I see a lot of 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have an 8 bam. Here's a 6, 8 in cracks. And we have 2, 4, 8 in dots. I wouldn't pick a hand. We're just going to gather. Let's pass the north, the green, and then maybe one of the 3s. We have a 4 crack. That's an even, so we're going to keep it. Let's pass one of each suit. We're keeping all evens. We have 2 tiles to pass. So now we look at, those are odds, we're playing evens. So now is when we look for those isolated tiles, or we start looking at the hands to then whittle out one discard. We could play the second hand down, 2, 4, 6, 8 in one suit, pair 2, pair 8. We have a pair of 8s and dots, and we have a 2 dot, 4, 6 singles, and then we have the 8s in the other 2 suits. That's probably what I would play. And that leaves the 4, 6 in cracks. So probably the 4 crack would be a good discard here. I'm thinking that's what I would do. We got the 2 dot. Okay, now here we have 3 discards. And it's asking us if we want to keep going. I would say yes, because we have 3 discards. If we get all keepers, hopefully we'll be able to let one of the 8s go, because then we could just call it for an exposure. If somebody passed it, then maybe we'll see it again as a discard. Let's keep going.
Second Charleston.
It's a little bit risky. We might get keepers, but we might not. And we didn't. We didn't get any keepers. So we're good now. We did get an 8, but we really don't need it. We have a hand with no gaps, and we're actually 1 away from set. We just need 1 8 bam or an 8 crack, and we'll be ready to call. So I would let it go. I would pass fully.
Courtesy pass.
We have 3 tiles to pass here. Oops. So I would pass those 3 tiles. No keepers. So the wind goes first, then the dragon, then the 1. We need 1 good pick and we'll be ready to win. Or no, we'll be set. We need to Kong 8s. That we have the 2, 4, 6, 8 in dots. We need to Kong the 8 bam and the 8 crack.
West. 1 bam.
We're good there.
7
We're
crack.
looking for 8s.
1 bam.
We're not the 8 dot though. Okay, Joker will do. So let's
Green.
let that green go.
8 dot.
Now, oh yeah, we don't need that. That's a pair for us. That's the second hand down under evens. 2, 4, 6, 8 pair, single, single pair, and then Kongs of the other 2 8s.
Green. Green.
We'll let it go. We got the 8
1
bam.
dot.
We're ready to win.
3 crack.
Ready to win on an 8 bam or an 8 crack.
9 dot.
We don't need it.
Flower.
Don't need a flower. We are looking for an
Red.
8 bam or an 8
9
crack.
crack. 5 crack.
We're good there.
9 dot.
Don't need that. Well, there it is. Look at the jokers. Oh my goodness. Mahjong.
Mah Jongg.
Woohoo! Oh, it looks like we can play another game. 2, 4, 6, 8. This is the second hand down. Okay, let's play
First
again.
Charleston.
We have a multiple. Target the multiple. 4 crack. That's where you start. 4 crack. Whatever. Thank you for the kudos. Okay, so 4 crack pair. That's what we're doing. It looks like we have another 2, 4, 6, 8 hand. Let's see. With a 4 crack though. 4, 5. 4 crack. 2, 4. 6, 8. We do have 2, 4, 6, 8, no gaps. It would be 2, 4 in cracks, 6, 8 in bams. But we do have 4, 5 in there. Let's pass 2, 4, 6. Joker heaven. Okay, let's see. I think we should go ahead and pass. Okay, we have green dragon, 8 dot, 5 dot, not real helpful there. Let's pass. Wins. I don't think I would pass 2 wins. Let's let the 5 crack go. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, no gaps. Second hand down on the right. 2, 4 and bams we got back. Okay, well, let's think about it. We do have tiles we can pass.
Second Charleston.
I don't know if I would want to pass 2 dragons though, but I don't want to pass a flower. All right, let's just gather. Get a 4 dot, which we just did. We could play the same hand. Look, we have all 2, 4, 6, 8 now. So let's just look at this. We have 2, 4 and cracks. Here's 2, 4, 6, 8. Second hand down with 4s. We have to pass. We could also maybe play 2, 4 in cracks, 4, 6 in dots. We need 3 tiles to pass. This is the challenge. 2, 4 in cracks, 4, 6 in dots with an 8 bam pair. Fourth hand down. Or we can play 2, 4, 6, 8 2 ways and let the 4 go. This would maximize our potential, our options. 2, 4, 6, 8 hand of least resistance. That's going to require us to pass like numbers. We're kind of in a pickle here. Let's see here. 2, 4 in cracks, 6, 8 in dots, or 6, 8 in bams. Passing 2, 4, 4. You're less fearful of passing flowers. It just makes me cringe inside. We're going to keep going. Okay, there's an 8 dot. So our risk was worth it. So we have an 8 dot pair now. So let's let the 8 bam go.
Courtesy pass.
Okay, we did not get any keepers, so we can pass 3.
West.
We got a 6 bam. Okay, so we'll keep all evens until we run out of discards. We have 2, 4, 6, 8. We're just going to gather. But probably the third hand down on the right.
Soap. Soap.
Don't need wind.
South.
They go first.
2 bam.
Ooh, there goes our 2 bam.
Soap.
Don't need
6 dot.
dragon. Okay, now here we have a hand with no gaps. So I would call. We're going to call. Actually, we can let it go. Let's let it go one time. If the other 6 dot goes down, we can call. We'll ignore for now. Oh, now we have an option. Okay, so let's let the east go.
East.
So
north.
We could do 6, 8 in bams. Now, if we get the 4 bam, we might be able to switch to that 4th hand down. Right
5
now,
dot.
that is a pair gap.
7 bam.
So it would be a bit risky to play that.
3 bam. 5 crack.
We definitely don't need the flower. We probably should let that go.
Red.
Let's let the flower go.
Flower. Green.
Keeper, 2, 4. So now we have 2, 4, 6, 8 of some kind.
3 bam.
We have 1 discard before we have to.
9 bam.
So you really,
South.
this just goes
West.
to show you that you really don't have to pick a hand until you run out of discards.
5
We're
dot.
still gathering
3 dot.
until we get another even tile or joker like
3
we
dot.
have here.
9 dot.
Now is when we are going to need to pick a hand because we have all keepers.
3 dot.
We don't need that.
4 crack.
Okay, now here I would call. 2, 4, 6, 8, third hand down on the right.
Call.
Now we have to choose what to let go of. Since there's a 6 dot out, I say we throw the 6 dot. That would optimize our potential to get 6, 8 in bams. So let's throw the 6 dot.
6 dot. 4 dot.
We'll pass.
Joker swap. 1 dot. 2 crack.
We'll call. That's a pung.
Call.
We'll discard the 8
8
dot.
dot. 2 crack. Call.
Good for
West.
the moment. Let's see. Those are locked in.
9 bam.
We're good there. We don't need a 5 dot.
5 dot. 7 dot.
We're good
Call.
there.
North.
We have 2 jokers up for grabs. East, don't need
East. 1 bam. Green.
it. We're good there.
1 dot.
White dragon, it's already out.
Soap. 1 bam.
We're good there.
North.
Don't need that.
South.
Don't need south. 9 crack, we don't need that.
9 crack. 1 crack.
We're good there.
2 dot.
2, we want 6, 8, and bam.
Joker swap. Flower.
Okay. Okay, 2 dot just went
2
down.
dot. West.
It looks like
4
nobody
dot.
wanted the 8 dot, so this should be
1 dot.
a safe discard. 9 dot. 1 is out. Let's search
8 dot. 1 crack.
The 9 dot. I don't know what this player on the left is doing.
East. Joker swap. 4
I
dot.
got the joker. 9 crack. We can
9
let that
crack.
go.
9 bam.
We're good there.
7
We're looking
crack.
for 6, 8, and bams.
Green.
Oh, we got a keeper.
9 dot. 2
So
bam.
now we're ready to win on an 8 bam.
5 crack.
None are out yet.
9 bam.
We're good there. The good thing here is the 9 bams are down. Red dragon, we don't need that. 1 is out.
Red. 5 crack.
Okay.
Flower.
Don't need flowers.
3 dot.
Looking for an 8 bam. Oh,
Flower. 7 bam.
Okay, this will be interesting.
7 crack.
Nobody wanted it.
4 dot.
Looks like the 8 bam should be safe. Unless this player to our left is playing a mixed suit Kong hand. I hope not.
2 bam. 2 dot.
We're good.
Flower.
Looking for an 8 bam.
9 dot.
Win. 3 bam. We don't need
3
that.
bam. 9
We're
dot.
playing to win.
South. North.
We're gonna keep going. 2 dot is
2
out.
dot. 9 crack.
We're good there.
Red. Red.
We need an 8 bam. 5 dot. Okay, this is. I think. Okay, it is out. 2 are out.
5 dot.
We're gonna play to win
7 crack.
anyhow. So I would discard
3
anything.
crack. 1 dot.
We're good. 7 bam was just
7
thrown.
bam. 5 crack.
We have 4 more picks.
Joker.
Uh-oh. Somebody
Green.
switched. I think someone switched to defense. We got Mah Jongg.
Mah Jongg.
4, 6, 2. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8. Hong Kong hand the least resistance. See how easy those are? They're so simple. And you can use any number of jokers. We're going to talk more about these hands next week. Okay, so that's going to do it for this live stream. I just wanted to share. Let me pull up. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thank you to I Love Mahj. Thank you so much for such a great platform. It really is a great platform, especially if you're new to the game. Try their Mahjong school. All right, so I want to go to MAHJLIFE because I just want to show you something new that you may or may not be aware of. So let me present my screen. Oh, thank you. Okay, see you a little bit later for the next nitty-gritty at 4. I just want to show you real quick a new article that is out. It's called the Matrix. So if you search for Matrix, this is going to help you decide. Well, I hope you come to all the nitty-gritty Let's Play live streams, but if you're working on a specific skill or strategy, you'll know when we're going to talk about it in this article because I've got the dates on here. So you can see coming up next right here. Let me go full screen. Okay, so here we have coming up next. So there's an X next to where we are. We're right now doing planning discards, how to simplify. In the next nitty-gritty at 4 o'clock today, this is our double header. On Mondays, we do a double header. We do basics from 1 to 3, and then advanced from 4 to 6. We're going to talk about planning discards to optimize and sabotage. That's what we're talking about next. Same kind of concepts, but we're going to go a little more advanced. The next one after that is going to be hands of least resistance to simplify, and then hands of least resistance to expedite. That's next week. So if you want to know what's coming up, look here at this matrix, and you'll be able to decide whether or not you want to come for whatever the topic is, whether it's a strategy or skill. It's all here. And then there'll be a link to whatever was last, and if there's a wiki article that coincides with it for self-study. So click those links. If you missed it, just watch the latest one. Like last week, we talked about Joker tactics. You can watch the video by just clicking watch. Nitty-Gritty always on I Love Mahj. That's a great question, Kathleen. No, they're not. So what I do is, because I Love Mahj has such great beginner and intermediate tools for learning that Charleston practice, I think that's great for the Let's Play or the nitty-gritty basics. And then the advanced nitty-gritty prime time is done at Mahjong Time. It's a little more robust platform. Well, I mean, I Love Mahj is robust too, but it's just another platform that has just a different community of players. So I like to mix it up. So the basics is at I Love Mahj, and then the prime time is at Mahjong Time. Do you have to be a member to access the matrix? Thank you, Kathleen. Another great question. No, it's open to the public. All the wiki articles are open to the public. So you just, let me share my screen again. You just go up to my website, MAHJLIFE.com, click on wiki, and you'll see all the articles here that you have access to. And you can just use a search by keyword to get the matrix, though. Just type matrix and it'll come up. And then that's the index for all the nitty-gritty Let's Play live streams, the doubleheader on Mondays. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that very much. All right, so that's going to do it for this nitty-gritty basics Let's Play live stream. Join us again next week, where we're going to be talking about hands of least resistance. This is a great idea, especially if you're learning, but also if you ever find that you're in a losing streak, or I should say a learning streak. If you're experiencing a learning streak, hands of least resistance are a great focus. So join us again next Monday, where we're going to be talking about that in the doubleheader. So beginning at 1 p.m., 1 to 3 Eastern time for basics, and then 4 to 6 for prime time, which is more advanced. You're welcome. We'll see you again in a little bit. Otherwise, we'll catch you in the repost. Thank you so much for watching my videos and for sharing about the channel. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Click the little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos, and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.